YouTube, what's going on, Facebook, Twitter, all those good joints. Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Hit that like button and share my videos. Follow me on all the other social media platforms. But first, let me know if you can hear me. I want to see the chiz at. Where it's at is in the chat. Anybody in the chat? Show me where you at. Yeah, I want to hear you. Sound off. What's up? All right, let's see. I see some people on my screen over here in the chat, but I don't see y'all in the chat. Okay, I got to see. Once again, got to put my finger on the screen. You know, all that stuff, man. I ain't trying to go through all that. All right, what's up, Don? Now, you told me to check my email last night. What should I be looking for? I went through, but I could not find anything unusual. So let me know if I missed something. Maybe there's a keyword, something like that. So let me know. People checking in. Okay. All right. Just Jen. All right. Hello, sir. All right. Now there we go. Here comes the cavalry. Creepy Joe. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about tonight. Yeah, Creepy Joe. But we're gonna approach this from a different angle tonight, y'all. Yeah, we're gonna try something a little different. So hope you guys are ready for it. I like to keep y'all on your toes. I don't want y'all to get, used to just the same kind of format. Don't put me in a box. Don't put me in a box, okay? Yeah, don't put me in a box. We're gonna be approaching this from a different angle, and I'll explain in a minute. But first, since y'all can hear me and y'all can see me, let's go ahead and get loose so I can get busy. Oh, yeah. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. So it is a Tuesday. I had myself a nice long. I'm glad I caught it before we got too deep. I gotta remember to turn these darn notifications off. Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Y'all done caught me being ghetto. Y'all like, look at this dude. He ain't even turned his notifications off. Hold on, I can't even find a button now. What a button? What a button? Yeah, okay. Wait, it's coming. My notifications. Yeah, I'm bad with the technology. There it is. Okay. Yeah. We don't want nobody interrupting us when we having our Kevin Corner time. Okay? And Kevin Corner time. Yeah, so, long, hard day at work. I didn't even change out my work clothes. I came straight on in like, let's do this. Let's do this. I got mud all over me. Yeah, I love it, man. See, yeah. This what these young boys need to learn to do. Go out there and get some calluses on their hands. You know what I'm saying? Bust a couple rocks. Move a couple pieces. From my Uncle Ron would be proud. Yeah, that man, I'm telling you, he was a wonder. He was a wonder. Hey, boy, get it and go. Pick it up with your hands, boy. You be like, what? Let me go get a dolly. You don't need no dolly, boy. Grab it with your hands. Grab it with your hands, boy. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. You sure I don't want to get a hernia or anything? Boy, you know what? You ain't worth a nickel. See, it was always comparing you to like the lowest things. You ain't worth a nickel. Boy, you ain't worth, you know what? Get out the way. You ain't worth a quarter. And show you how to do that stuff, man. Yeah, those were the men that we admired. That's back in the day when masculinity was admirable. Yeah, it wasn't toxic. It was beloved. It was beloved. Now you get shamed for it. Lift one too many weights, you get shamed. Yeah, get a little too proud about you taking care of your family as a man. And you know what? I mean, that this the patriarchal system and all of that. Man, I don't want to hear that mess. When the grid goes down one day, they're going to need all of this masculinity. They're going to, could you come over and save me from the big bad wolf? No, because you're a feminist. They ain't going to let the wolf gnaw on your toes till you realize that men have a role too, just like women. So with that being said, guys, I don't know how I got off on that tangent. Make sure you hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all of the other social media platforms. Check out Kevin's Corner store, which, of course, you can shop till you drop in there. It helps support the channel. And that number 330-974-4607, if you text MAGA to that number, I will lock you in so this way we can all stay connected just in case something happens. You never know what happens when it comes down to YouTube. And then also, man, I keep forgetting. I was late today. Yeah, we had a long big delivery and all that stuff. It was. So I got back in and I forgot to create my fundraiser link. But unless y'all are sitting there itching and chomping at the bits to drop about $8 million in that fundraiser link, you can always just go to my regular Cash App or my PayPal link in below these videos, and you can support the channel then until I get that up and running. It don't matter. It's all going to the same place. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get ready to get into what we're talking about tonight. Now, the title is called Psycho Joe. Now, we all know Joe's a psycho. Yeah, we know he's a psycho. But the psycho is short for psychoanalyze. See, I want to psychoanalyze Joe. I want to psychoanalyze some of his speech and his tactics. In fact, this application will be great for everybody in regards to understanding how politicians manipulate their audience. There's certain languages, there's certain tactics that are used, and once you learn them and identify them, then it equips you. It allows you to be able to identify it immediately when they try to use it on you and call it out. It'll even help you help others. You'll be sitting back, you falling for that, giving people the elbow. You know what they're trying to do right there. You know what he's trying to do. He's saying this because. So knowing your enemy, knowing the tactics are important. And Joe came out with a speech, y'all. Yeah, one of his speeches, I ran across a guy on the internets who is brilliant. It's rare that I take a particular person on the internet and kind of build a whole narrative or a whole live stream around him. But I was so impressed with this man's analysis and breakdown and psychoanalyzation of one of Creepy Sleepy's speeches where he just read him. I mean, this dude, his mind is brilliant and I can admire it. Yeah, I was like, smarter than me? This man, what? You gotta be kidding me. Smarter than me? Oh, I gotta give him some props. So I said, this will be great for my audience, just in case you haven't heard of this guy. I'm about to introduce him in a second. But it'd be great for my audience to see this stuff in real time and get it called out. Because see, this stuff you'll miss. You'll miss. And as I was watching the guy's video, he was even pulling out things that slipped over my head. And I said, ooh, that's a dirty little tactic. Oh, I see why they do. Ooh, yeah, that's deep. That's deep. He's breaking this mess all the way down. Now, Joe picked a particular speech dealing with a very controversial topic in society today. And to sell it, you have to really manipulate your audience. And I'm referring to Transformers, robots in disguise, not just any old Transformers, but child Transformers. Now, do you understand how hard it is to sell this to people? I mean, you got to have a whole bunch of people sitting in a think tank coming up with all kind of ways to make this stuff make sense. Because it's a hard sell. If you come out and you just keep it 100% real, all right, I got my own internal issues and I want to project them on others, including children. And I'm a little confused myself, but I don't like being confused all by myself. I don't want to think that I'm the only one with the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it seem like everybody else has the problem instead of me. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to project this on kids, and therefore I can duplicate the problem and make me feel a part of a cohesive, community of people with the same problems. Therefore, we can say it's not a problem. We can say it's not a problem after a while. See, nobody wants to make these type of confessions. Nobody wants to come out and keep it real like that. Yeah, I mean, it's just human nature. Even sometimes Christians. It's hard to come to grips that, yeah, I'm the sum total of my own choices. Yeah, it's quick to be like, all right, everybody else got problems too. He who lives in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, which is true. But if you in the glass house and you throwing stones, don't be pointing at everybody else throwing the stones. You got to say, hey, I'm a stone thrower. I'm a stone thrower. But don't be talking about I want to make everybody else a stone thrower, so therefore I don't feel like the only stone thrower in glass houses. You got to confront the problem within. Now, it takes a perverted, sadistic, just immoral person to put these ideas on children. I mean, there's no excuse for that. That is how I know this whole movement is extremely demonic. It is extremely perverse. See, there was a time where, adults would do the nasty stuff that they want to do, and folks would just leave them alone. You a nasty grown man, nasty grown woman. Do what you do. Do what you do. But you got to be a special kind of evil to say, now, I'm not only going to do what I'm doing, but I'm going to project this onto kids, helpless kids, kids that have no conscience of this stuff, no awareness of this stuff. And all of a sudden, grown behind people with their nasty ideas, their perverted behaviors and philosophies and policies and all that stuff, start to target the children. Now, if you think that this isn't something born out of the mind of corrupt, evil, stinking, nasty, perverted adults, all you got to do is just look at the increase in all of these kids believing something that they didn't even know existed 10 years ago. Didn't even know existed. They weren't running around talking about, I'm not gender neutral, I'm not binary, I'm not gender 72. In fact, nobody was walking around talking about this. I mean, you might have heard it whispered in corners, but nobody had the boldness to come out and say, we want this to become mainstream because society itself still had enough morality to check it. Yeah, it made people who had this mess in their head say, I'm going to be quiet. I might be thinking this stuff. I might be wanting other people to, and embark upon this stuff, but I can't do it. Because the majority of society will go, what? And will make you go back in your basement somewhere and start to contemplate your life, or just put on a dress like, what's that dude? Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion on his skin or else he gets the hose again. Buffalo Bill wasn't running around with no dress on outside. Yeah, we kept that mess to himself. So you now have adults, unfortunately, and this is where it gets bad. Not just adults, but politicians, leaders that are supporting this crap. And that's what gives legitimacy in the minds of a whole bunch of other weak-minded people to embrace this whole idea. It has unfortunately seeped into our leadership and our entertainment and all the things that influence people. Therefore, once you start bombarding the psyche of people and changing the mentality of the generations, then now you get this big influx of kids going, I think I'm this, I think I'm that. Now, here's the scary part about it. Oftentimes you'll find it's not the kids that just come up with this on their own. Now, it could be peer pressure, it could be the internets, but you'll often find that parents also will embrace this mess. That's where it really gets bad. What kind of parent are you when you're going to go ahead and embrace this kind of mess? Dang on it. And project this mess on your kids, talking about I'm doing social justice and I'm this and that, I'm open-minded and all of that stuff. So we're going to be covering some of that because you have to manipulate your audience with terms, words, ideas, all these things we're about to see in this little segment right here. You have to manipulate your audience for them to get on board with this. And boy, I tell you, this guy right here exposes it. But before we get into him, let me go ahead and call out somebody else who seemed to be coming out of their shell, man. Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil's going to give us a little lead in on it before we get into the main ingredients tonight. What is Dr. Phil talking about here? Psycho Joe. We about to psychoanalyze a nasty, dirty thing.
It's interesting they choose words like gender affirming care.
Yeah, what's that?
That's interesting that they call it that. But really what they're talking about is hormonal therapy or sex reassignment surgery on children.
Now, what kind of mess is this? What kind of evil is this? Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that evil on me. What kind of mess is this, man? Let me tell you something. Kids can't make choices on their own like this. See, it burns me up when I see professionals sell out to whatever DEI and whatever pressure, is making them sell out and kind of validate this stuff. It burns me up. I mean, how can you as a doctor support this mess? Whatever happened to do no harm? But yet you got doctors out here supporting this mess. You got people influencing parents to embrace this mess. You got them demonizing parents, talking about if you don't let your kid do this, they could, they could do whatever. Man, I'd be like, nah, man, I'm not embracing that. That dude's 5. He can't make a decision. He's not going out buying his own dresses. He's not going out buying his lipstick. I feed him. Until you're grown, I own you. There's no way in the world a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, or anybody under 18 that's living in their parents' crib could make this determination if the government keeps their butt out of it, if the parent disagrees. Yeah, if the parent is going, look, man, I don't care what you think you are. I'm not going to encourage or validate that mess. You understand that? Long as you in my crib, you ain't going to be sneaking off, injecting stuff into you, experimenting on stuff. It's not going to happen. Yeah, so the parents are just as at fault as the leaders in our society and these raggedy behind doctors and all of these institutions that woke up, I guess, recently and embraced witchcraft, embraced voodoo. And this is black magic. This is that, in the alley type medicine right there, quack medicine. Yeah, and then they try to legitimize it. You know what? The 7 out of 10 institutions say that. I don't care. I don't care if it's a million institutions or people with, PhD in front of their name. I don't care. There's some things that you have to know what you know that you know that you know. Period. I don't care how many, I don't care if the whole world come out talking about, well, you know what? You're the only person left that doesn't believe that these kids can. I'll be like, so? Now I'm going down with the ship. I might be the only person, but I'm the only person with brains. So now Dr. Phil is calling it out because, see, all these professionals are starting to call it gender affirming care.
And in fairness, the American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Endocrine Society, or whatever the exact name of that is, all of the major medical associations have signed off on this, Joe.
They lost their minds.
They signed off on it. And I have never seen those organizations sign off on anything with less information as to whether or not it does long-term harm of anything in my life. And
wow, that's coming from Dr. Phil, baby. I don't know what happened to him. He was down at the border and everything, talking about how crazy it is at the border recently. Then he jumped on The View and popped a little bubble when he was talking about them Democrats. Yeah, locked all those kids down. And they sweeping down. They're looking out for the kids. Want to affirm their gender and all of that mess. However, messed up their education, their development by locking them down with no real data to support it. So it seems like the scientific medical community has become politicized. There it is. We're going to support locking these kids down, knowing that really the impact of what doesn't really impact those kids. But we're going to do it anyway because it's politically advantageous. And then also, we don't care if it hurts their development. We don't care about that. Not to mention ruining some people's potential future when you got you're a senior. You might blossom your senior year and have a great year in sports, but the whole senior year might have been canceled because Democrats want to politicize the whole thing. So now all of a sudden you don't even get the scholarship. My senior year is what got me a scholarship in the college. I crushed it in football my senior year. I was good my junior year too. But boy, I tell you, man, that toxic masculinity kicked in my senior year. Yeah, all of a sudden I'm booking up and down the field, looking like Benny Hill. And got me a scholarship. Now imagine if my senior year was taken away because of these politicians playing with people's lives. So Dr. Phil called all of that stuff out, and now he's calling out this new witchcraft called gender affirming care.
When I ask about that, when I bring that up, then they immediately label you as transphobic.
Yeah. Now that's that rebuttal. That's the tactic, y'all. You know it. That's what they do. Somebody said, I love that show. Benny Hill was a mess, wasn't he? With the bald-headed dude. I love when he played the black guy. See, he can never get away with that nowadays. When he used to play the black guy with the afro, came out with the leather and everything. Boy, Benny was funny. He was funny. But yeah, so Dr. Phil is hip to something. It's easy to just label somebody all these names because you don't want to debate them over stuff like that you know is already nonsense. Why would I sit there and try to convince you that kids can make a life-changing, altering decision that could impact them with little bit of scientific data to show the long-term effects of it? Why would I try to convince you that? Because it makes no sense. It's nonsense. It makes no sense. So it's easier for me to just say, you're homophobic or you're transphobic or whatever. There you go. You're a bigot. Yeah, you want to see kids do whatever. You want to see them, you know what? It's easier to shut you up and shame you by using these dirty, stinking tactics instead of addressing the issues and concerns that sane people have. Not just adults, not just parents. Sane people in society have these concerns. If you're still hanging on to a little sanity, you realize this is nonsense. But you'll have politicians like what we're about to see come out and try to tell you, nope. So now let's get into Creepy Sleepy, and let me tell you who this guy is.
I thought that the deal was first do no harm.
I thought that too.
And all of the European countries, Sweden, Norway, they've all stopped doing it because they say, we cannot say in good conscience that this does no harm. Because it does harm. If you look at the long-term consequences, if someone changes their mind at 10, 11, 12, 13 years.
Wow. Look how low he went. If somebody changes their mind at 10, 11, 12, 13, I mean, good grief. At that age, you're changing your mind every 6 seconds. I want to be an astronaut. No, wait. I want to be an airplane. Wait, no. What's an airplane? Who fly the airplanes? I want to be a pilot. No, wait. I want to be a princess. No, I want to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I want to be... 1 minute you feel like a nut. Next minute you don't. Motions all over the place. And yet these folks are encouraging these kids to make these decisions. And at 13, you'd be like, man, shoot, I was a young one when I went through my transition, but I learned from it, man. I was 4 when I started getting on my puberty blockers. And right around 10, I realized that it was a mistake. And I said to myself, you know what, this ain't the route I want to go. But by that time, I had boobs already. And, my voice was all high and everything. They said I'd never be able to get the bass back in my voice and all that. But, it's okay, though. I'm still working. What kind of mess is this? Our society has lost its mind. It has jumped the railroad tracks. And unfortunately, it has funneled its way all the way up to the top. So my man, Dr. Phil, is onto something because, you oppose this stuff as a professional, it'll ruin your career. Mm-hmm.
Old, they can't decide which pajamas they want to wear at night. And their reason for doing it is it stops this drive for suicide, that there's a suicide epidemic. It doesn't fix that. It doesn't fix all the comorbid issues that come along with feeling like they're in the wrong body.
Yeah, because see, my thought was this. Before these concepts burst on the scene, what did kids do before this? Where's all of the kids that unfortunately, before they understood what transformers were and all of this stuff, where are all of them? I mean, where's all the data to show that they couldn't cope and therefore, it led to them doing horrific things? Where's all of that? Is it now something that kids are being fed and encouraged? And then, of course, with our victimized society, you're a victim. You need meds. You're depressed, aren't you? I bet you feel something on the inside. All of that mess. They need some Uncle Ron tough love. Say you feel like that on the inside, huh? What about the outside? That don't matter? Let me tell you something, boy. What you need to do is feel some hardcoreness on the inside. Talking about some... Like, is that meat ever going to come out of your teeth, Uncle Ron? Don't worry about the meat, boy. Listen to what I'm saying now. Go down there and pick the tractor up and bring it up here. The whole tractor? Yeah, the whole tractor, boy. Pick it up and bring it on up here. Okay. They need some of that tough Uncle Ron love, man. So, with all of this stuff encouraging and enabling and influencing kids, all of a sudden you get this big uptick out of nowhere. So now Dr. Phil is on it, but guess what? Joe Biden is not. He is.
But yet they're pushing this, and we're going to do some shows that are already taped that are revealing what the real results of this are. And I think people are going to be shocked that these medical organizations have signed off on this. I think they've just given in to the pressure.
Yes,
and imagine if the pressure is coming from the president.
Just don't understand where the pressure is coming from. Another phrase they're using now is life-saving gender-affirming care.
Yeah. How do you like that term? They want to make it real special. Hey, what's up? What's happening? Y'all hear him blowing? What's happening? Just assume they blowing at you. That's how back in the day when the brothers used to hang on the corner, you hear a horn blowing, you just assume, and bing, bing, yo, what up? Yeah, have no idea who they're blowing at. But anyway, Joe Rogan has a point. And so life-saving, gender-affirming care. Let's add some more layers on top of it so it'll make it real hard for common sense, more people to say, this is crazy. You don't want to save lives? That's what you're telling me? Okay, you don't believe in affirming care? You don't believe in health care? That ain't health care. Oh, okay. Well, that gender affirming, life-saving care? No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. So here they are using words to manipulate society. And Joe Rogan is on it, and so is Dr. Phil. Kudos to him.
They like to smash them all together like that.
Well, I don't think that...
Gaslighting.
It's gaslight. Gaslight. Yeah. Neon light. So now let's get the creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe. He's about to come out and tell us that no, what Dr. Phil's talking about, yeah, with all you common folks, people running around saying this is ridiculous. Have we all lost our mind? Says Joe.
13-year-old transgender child wrote to me.
A 10-year-old transgender girl named Ella.
Hateful laws introduced across the country. The right to make our own healthcare decisions.
What?
Puberty blockers are wonderful.
The right to raise.
That was a doctor, y'all. That was, I guess, a child psychologist. Yeah, with that green hair. If you got kids and you go to the doctors and the doctor come in with green hair, pick your kid up under your arm like a football and run out with them, feet kicking, full speed down the hall. There you go. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing with green hair? Are you a leprechaun? Huh? What broccoli? What's going on with the green hair? What? You're freaking me out here. Is it green hair day? At the off? No, you did that on purpose. It's not like just a part of a theme today. Okay. I don't need a doctor with green or pink hair, purple hair, mess like that. You already know. You already know as soon as they come in. So yeah, that was a doctor. Interesting.
Raise our own children.
One of the drugs used is Lupron, right? Which
To protect their child. That's why we must pass the Equality Act.
There it is. Come up with a nice term that seems so inclusive, so harmless. The Equality Act. Who doesn't want equality, right? Everybody wants equality. So you use that so you can push a nasty, stinking, immoral policy. Huh.
Who the hell?
Ooh, look at
in
that.
this speech, Joe Biden makes several worrying statements.
Now here he goes. You know what? I messed around. I thought I put his name in the... Yeah, let me see. I'll get it before we get out of here. Now y'all hear this dude? I guess he's from England. He's real subtle. He got the smooth voice. Yeah, nice and monotone. And he's about to psychoanalyze the heck out of creepy speech. Gonna break it down. So let's go ahead and hear this dude. Let me see. What is the... Man, I thought I had his name in there. I'll find
One of the drugs used is
Here we go.
Lupron, right? Which
To protect their child. That's why we must pass the Equality Act.
Yeah.
Who the hell?
in this speech, Joe Biden makes several worrying statements that are important to highlight, considering the effects his statements have. This video points out the most troubling statements and what they mean for the world.
To everyone who helped make Respect for Marriage Act a reality, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Euphemizing language is one of the ways politicians make policies, and especially controversial policies, sound moral and good. By referring to his policy as Respect for Marriage Act, Biden makes his...
There you go. So in other words, bad policies, if you switch up the terminology, somebody said I'm buffering, hit that refresh. Let me know if it's just me. So you use euphemisms to go ahead and put a spin or twist on your raggedy behind policy. Perfect example of that, y'all. Whenever you hear the Democrats come out and they start saying things like, you know what, these are undocumented citizens, euphemism. These are, and the worst one, undocumented Americans. That's the worst. Whenever you hear them come out and use these terms like this, perfect, women's health care, abortion. There it is. Yeah, but we can't tell y'all that because we don't want y'all to see it in its ugly light. We don't want you to see it the way it really is. See, Because it shows really that we're nasty. It shows that we're foul. So we're to go ahead and do a euphemism on it and make it sound tolerable.
His side sound morally superior,
Yeah.
while making his opponents sound like they don't respect marriage. Euphemisms are an effective way to control the agenda and create a protagonist-antagonist framework in the process.
And Republicans fall for that all the time. Democrats got a patent on euphemisms. I'm like, come on, Republicans. Y'all fall for it every time. The Democrats always set the table when it comes down to terminology, propaganda, all of that. Now, granted, I don't want Republicans to major in propaganda and all of that. But they got to figure out a way to combat that mess. Because Democrats will just simply come out and set the table. We're starting off like, you know what? We're taking the moral high ground. We're all about equality. We're all about inclusiveness. We're all about saving lives and children's affirming care and this and that. And Republicans seem sometimes to not know how to just unravel that and expose it. Now, this is why I like what this guy does, because he psychoanalyzes it and reveals what you're really doing. And if Republicans and people who are in society recognize this stuff, you could call it out, and it hurts when you do. When these people come up there and they say, yeah, know what, gender affirming care. Oh, are you talking about mutilating kids' genitals? I know you tried to use that cute little word, but what you really are saying is this. Tell me, and this is how you get them. Explain to me what gender affirming care is. Give me the details of that. See, you want to stay very shallow. You want to be like, no, I can't get into the details. Because if you get into the details, okay, why do I feel my floor shaking? Do we have earthquakes in Ohio? All right, if y'all see me drop through the floor, call somebody. Anyway, now, when you get into the details, people go, oh, that's what that means? That's what that don't sound. It's like a doctor. You know, one time I was hospitalized with a lower intestinal obstruction when I was 27, I think. Somewhere around there, 27, 28. And man, I'm going to tell y'all right now, you talking about some pain. Man, that lower intestinal obstruction showed up on the scene like, I came to bring the pain hardcore to the brain. It was to the point where I was like, all right, Lord, if this be your will, Father, take me. The pain is too much for thou child to beareth. It was killing me, man. And the doctors came in the second day and they gave me my options. You know you in bad shape when you're laying there snoozing, going in and out of consciousness, and you look up and there's a team of surgeons with white coats and clipboards standing over you. Yeah, I'm sitting there like, are these angels? Did I die or something like that? But they're all standing over me, whispering amongst each other and not letting me in on it. And I'm sitting there going, what y'all talking? Well, am I dying? And the guy was, all right, look, you're a very sick young man right here. Here's your options. If this doesn't pass through your lower intestinal, your intestines rather, you got 3 options. 1, we can pump your stomach. 2, we can take you into surgery. And 3, you can die. Well, I was like, well, number 3 is out the question. I don't want that one. All right, so I got option 1 and 2. I said, you know what? Just pump my stomach. Pump my stomach. And these, I should have known by the reaction of the doctors. They all looked at each other like, and the one dude leaned in and said, I don't think you want that. Let's just say it's very uncomfortable. He softened that. What he really meant is it hurts. That's what it means. See, but you don't want to tell your patient it hurts. Nobody wants to hear the detail. Oh, it hurts. They say it's very uncomfortable. I'm like, well, what do you mean uncomfortable? I mean, shoot, I could be sitting in this chair, my butt cheek falls asleep. And all of a sudden, I'm like, man, that's uncomfortable. My left cheek is asleep. All right, wait, let me switch. Y'all sitting there wondering what's going on. Trying to go ahead and wake up my cheeks. See, that's uncomfortable. But sticking a whole tube down my throat, making me regurgitate, that might be painful. So they soften the terms. So this is what Joe and the rest of them are trying to do. Make it palatable. Let's continue.
And together, we're standing up for children, I get letters literally from children and parents terrified
Here we go.
by what's happening all across America.
Biden wants people to associate the term freedom with his side. The best way to do that is to make his opponents sound like they deny people the right to freedom.
There you go. Now, don't they do this all the time? Yeah, even right now, it's about freedom, freedom. Even on the campaign trail with Trump, it's about freedom. We're protecting people's freedoms, freedom, 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 democracy, freedom, freedom, all of that stuff. So the opposite of that, if you support Trump, then you don't love freedom. You're not protecting freedom. If you don't agree with these kids going through this process, then you're denying these kids freedom. You see how it works? There it is. Let me go ahead and monopolize the term freedom. It's ours. We decide what's freedom, what freedom means, who's free, what behaviors, reflect freedom. We're the ones. See, and because we beat y'all to it, now all of a sudden you have to fall on the opposite of it. Soon as you come out and say, what does that have to do with freedom, man? You talking about 5-year-olds doing that, but you know what? Yeah, just like we said, freedom. Feed them, mommy. Feed them. If you don't want to give these kids this little procedure, you're denying them their freedom. And more words to come. So here we go.
With the verb terrified, Biden appeals to the audience's emotion and pity. However, what is it people should have the freedom to do? And what are these terrified parents like? Perhaps parents who post TikToks to brand themselves as progressive.
Now he's getting into the parents. He's saying, you know what? What does this freedom look like? Freedom to do what? See, Joe wants to be ambiguous. Yeah, freedom. What does that look like in real practice? I want to see what kind of freedom is. Show me the vision in your head when you talk about freedom. Because let me tell you this. If anything you guys want to push, you just throw freedom on, what gives you the right to decide what freedom is if there's no standard amongst humans? Because if that's the case, you give kids that type of freedom. Hey, I'm taking the car tonight. What are you talking about? You're 7. Yeah, freedom. You're trying to deny me my freedom, Pops. Yeah, you come home, just sitting in the room smoking a stogie. What? Yeah, I'm exercising my freedom, Dad. So what kind of freedom are you talking about, Joe? So now these parents, unfortunately, either are going to, make sure their kids have some type of boundaries, or you're going to get a TikTok parent that wants to be, hip, wants to be progressive. And then what are they going to do? Live vicariously through their kids, like this crazy woman that he points out.
She was designated, assigned, observed male at birth. So when I would go to pick her up from preschool, like I said, she would be dripping in, just jewelry and clicky shoes and all kinds of stuff. And getting her to take that off to go home was usually a pretty gnarly struggle.
Preschool. See, why are you getting on TikTok or whatever and you're telling everybody about this? Is it the kid that you want to bring attention to, or is it yourself? This right here is nothing but vanity. It's narcissism. Yeah, this person is projecting whatever ideology onto the kid. The kid is in preschool. Preschool. Do you understand how nuts these people are? These people should have their kids removed. Here you are getting on TV. That preschool, she would come out, calling him a she. She would come out with beads and dresses and stuff. First of all, what kind of preschool you in? If I come to pick my son up from preschool and he's decked out like a chick, I'm gonna have a problem. I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, who put this on my kid? What are you doing? You couldn't put him back in his regular clothes? Are they allowed to take the stuff home? I don't understand. You got a dress-up drawer over there. They can just take the stuff home. But here she is. This is that. They want to see themselves and their kids so bad that any little thing that the kid does that might be a normal behavior of a kid, that's a sign. See, yeah, you sitting there going, look at that. He gravitated towards the Barbie doll instead of the Ken doll. That's a sign. And you're going, the baby's a toddler. He don't even know what the difference is between a Ken doll and a Barbie doll. He just picked it up and start gnawing on it. Yeah, put it in his mouth. That shows that he's gravitating. So she starts off with something stupid Talking about he was assigned male gender at birth. What the crap is that? These people are crazy. Can I say that? Can I say that on the internet? I can say, because I mean, you know, they might unexist me for this. Yeah, this one might not be too popular at the end of the day. Man, I'm already 40 minutes in. Jeez, oh man. I don't know what happened. I just could have swore I just started talking. Anyway, so these people are nuts. They're nuts. I'm sorry. I would be the person that'd be like, you know what, my kid at the toddler stage, I knew that he was, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there. You're nuts. What? Yeah, you're nuts. I just want to let you know that. Yeah, you're nutty. You're crazy. Your kid's a toddler. Your kid doesn't even know the difference between male and female yet. And here you are talking about that we knew something was different.
And then around the age of 4, she had this one headband she was completely attached to that she felt, I look.
There it is. The headband tells it all. That had the little headband. Maybe it had a flower on it. Maybe it had a flower on it. At 4. I mean, shoot. There's that point when babies come out, you don't know if they're male or female. When they bald, you're like, what is that, little boy or girl? I don't even know. Man. But you're telling me your kid has a headband that he's attached to, and all of a sudden, there it is. Now, as an adult, you're using this flimsy argument to suggest your kid believes that they are the opposite gender. You're the problem. Yeah, the kid's not the problem. You're the problem. And listen to the rest of the things she says that enlighten her. And told her, it basically said, yeah, this is it. That we better explore this, hon. We better go ahead. And the father's in on it too.
Back on it now and think to myself, gosh, I wonder when she put that headband on, she thought to herself, people see me for who I am. No one's going to misgender me now.
Y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that lady right there? When she put the headband on, I bet you she was thinking that, wow, gosh, nobody's going to misgender me now at 4. 4 years old. 4 years old. Yeah. Hey, Timmy, what's a gender? Ginger ale. My mom drinks it. No, not ginger ale. Gender. You know how you spell it? Kids don't know what this is. And here she is. Nobody's going to misgender me now. 4. There you go.
First of all, Nali's struggle could say something about bad ways of communicating and/or a lack of patience. Secondly, this isn't how a 4-year-old thinks. This is adult language. So these are her thoughts, what she wants to be the case for her child.
There it is. Thank you, Mr. Englishman, for psychoanalyzing this crazy lady. She wants the kid to be this. The kid doesn't want to be that. The kid's 4. It's like that case that took place in Texas where the father was like, and the mother was like, and they had to go to court over it. The mom took the one kid away. Projecting. Thank you very much. It's no different than when people look at animals and they want to see what they want to see in the animal. You know, it's one of those like, my dog, as much as Gizmo appears to love me, all his behaviors, all of that stuff, you know, he comes up and he licks me and he follows me around and stuff like that. That is animal instinct. But in my head, I'm going, Gizmo loves me. He loves me. In his head, he's like, he's my owner. He's the leader of the pack. I got to follow him around. And he feeds me because I can't feed myself. So I got to go ahead and make him feel special. Yeah. And every once in a while, when I put lotion on or something, he got a hankering for like baby oil lotion. He tries to lick my leg. And I be like, get off my leg. And he acts like he's doing it because he loves me. He likes the taste of lotion. It's very simple. You know, in my head, if I want to see it as Gizmo loves me. No, that's how people end up getting killed by wild animals. It happens all the time. Look at it. Hey, I've been, feeding this polar bear every day. Lady at the Cincinnati Zoo. Used to work at the Cincinnati Zoo. Used to. Notice I said used to. Yeah, it was a polar bear at the Cincinnati Zoo. Man, this polar bear was old. Teeth, some of his teeth was missing. I remember going to see this polar bear at the Cincinnati Zoo when I lived in Cincinnati. And she would feed the polar bear. Now, of course, as a trainer, They tell you don't get overconfident with the animals. They're still animals. Don't start seeing what you want to see in the animal. All right. You'll mistake what appears to be an emotion, but it's really your emotions. So here she goes. Well, look, you know what? Every day I see this bear. He seems very nice and calm. And you know what? So she started getting closer and closer to the bear, closer and closer to the bear. So one day she decides, you know what? I'm going to feed this bear a grape. A grape. Not a celery, not a turkey leg, something with some distance. She sticks her hands in the gate, and the bear, gently comes up, sniffs the grape. She's like, look at that. I told you, I've worked it out. We're friends now. Until that bear grabbed her whole hand with the grape inside of it and started working his way up her arm. Took the whole arm, this whole part, took it off. Yeah, and now you got to explain to management why the bear ate your arm. I was trying to feed him a grape. I don't think you're expecting workman's comp, are you? No. I know it was my fault. I thought the bear loved me. I know that's not funny, but, if you're dumb enough to feed a polar bear with a grape, hey, maybe you brought it on yourself. Sometimes you get what you deserve. But these people, that's what it is. This woman wants to see her, herself in the kid. So here it is. The kid wore a headband, therefore that let me know.
This is important to keep in mind because Biden doesn't reflect on any of that. Instead, he goes on with a synecdoche, a small part of a problem that's used to represent the whole.
A synecdoche, or something like that. That's a big word. Let's finish hearing the Englishman break it down.
Often for emotional effect.
A 13-year-old transgender child wrote to me, said, I hate looking at the news. I hear adults much older than me debate about my existence when they don't even know me.
You hear this crap? You hear this dirty tactic? Our adults, debate about my existence, and they don't even know me. So, Mr. Smart Englishman, could you go ahead and psychoanalyze that statement, please?
Biden obviously thinks this is a good point, but it's not, because it can be used against him.
How?
Because he doesn't know this person either.
Boom! Right in the face. Isn't that crazy? This audience doesn't even stop to realize that. This man is throwing out all of these examples if they are real people. And then, invoking emotions. Hey, wrote a letter to me saying, these people debating my existence and all of this stuff. Yeah, and I want you to get all busted up on the inside. And they don't even know me. Somebody should be going, do you know the kid? Do you know him? See, that's my question. So you're just going to read a letter, if that is a real letter, because it could be propaganda. But you're going to read the letter, and all of a sudden, you know all the details of this kid's life. What made this kid come to these conclusions? What environment the kid grew up in? What influenced the kid? All of the factors. Joe, you don't even know what you ate that morning. And here you up to talking about, hey, the baby don't even know me.
In case we can trust that this is a real person, that is.
Exactly.
He doesn't know the parents or any other circumstances. Yet, this is the kind of unspecific synecdoche that politicians use to persuade people emotionally on a daily basis.
Sarah McBride gave me a note from a 10-year-old transgender girl named Ella. She named herself that after my movie Ella Enchanted. And in this note, Ella thanked me for my courage as an ally. It takes zero courage to love you.
Look at that.
Not only is Biden's synecdoche unspecific as a whole, it's also internally unspecific. What does debate about my existence mean?
Exactly. Internally unspecific. They don't want to get specific. So yeah, I'm not going to get into the details of Bella's life. I'm just going to tell you Bella is up here mad because y'all are trying to unexist Bella. There you go. And not us, though. Oh, not us. No. See, really, it's those white nationalists. It's the ones that don't like freedom. It's the ones that, don't want them to live out their truth. It's the ones that want to exist them and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, maybe it's the common sense people that want to protect children. Maybe that's it. But because you went ahead and tried to, consolidate and hog up all of the positive terms that you can slap on a negative procedure. So now, therefore, by default, anybody who questions it based on the terms that you occupied and monopolized, then you're the opposite of it. If we say this is freedom, then you know what? You're taking away their freedoms. If we're saying these people exist, then you're trying to make them unexist. Hey, if we tell y'all that this is health care, then you don't want to give them health care. You see how it works? Yeah, manipulating language to manipulate emotions.
Everybody has and is allowed to have existence. The discussion is about at what age children who aren't old enough to smoke or drink, obviously, should be allowed to make life-altering decisions.
And that's how you get them back on the path. When you start hearing these people go off on a tangent, go ahead and invoke emotions, and you go and let them rant and say, you know what, now let's get back to the point. What that got to do with them making this life-altering decision? We're not talking about their existence. And see, the left has gotten used to this. They have been brainwashed and taught to use these terms to back everybody up off of them. You know what? Your words are violence. Your words are violence towards me. You know what you're doing is and I'm going, no. You're trying to go ahead and back me up off you. My words didn't hurt you. They didn't jump out and smack your face. You want to know that that's violence. Now stop crying. Come on back up here and let's talk. Just wanted to show you an example of the difference between violence and talking. Okay, now let's get back to it. So tell me again why. See, these are the things that you got to keep these people on task with, or at least recognize when they start throwing out these grandiose terms and definitions, talking about some unexist and you know what, equality and all that stuff. What does that have to do with underage children allowed to have these procedures done to them? See, let's get into the details of that and the cause and effect of it. Yeah, what is the outcome? What could possibly go wrong? Why are y'all making these decisions and pushing this when you don't have real data to show the long-term effects? Well, let's not get into details because white nationalism and xenophobia and transphobia and this and that. See, because when you start talking like that, then they don't know what to do. You think Joe knows the details of this stuff? He's reading off a teleprompter.
With this lack of specificity, Biden conveniently oversimplifies the discussion. He's making it all about emotions.
Our message to young people across America must be unequivocal. You're loved, you're heard, and you're understood, and you belong.
Y'all hear that? Unequivocal. You're loved, you're heard, and you belong. So keeping it very unspecific. Yeah, that's what allows him to get away with this type of garbage. See, because people, for whatever reason, they hear this stuff and all of a sudden they go straight into their left brain. And they're out there like, well, kids got feelings and you know what? They want to feel loved and we shouldn't. So does loving your kid mean you let them do whatever they want? I'm just wondering. Is belonging allowing your kid to do whatever they want? Well, Dad, I don't feel like I belong. Okay, well, stay out all night with your friends at 12 years old, running streets, and feel like you're part of a gang so you can belong. So this guy right here is about to call that out.
I mean it. And we see who you are. Made in the image of God.
Oh, God.
Deserving dignity, respect, and support. I mean it.
So therefore, guys, if you don't believe kids should do this, you don't believe in God. And God made these kids. You see the dirty tactics they try to use? Knowing that most people in America believe in God, and the large population of Christians, if they are Christians, do not support this crap. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and monopolize God too. I'm going to monopolize God. I'm going to beat y'all to the term. See, I know you think we don't believe in God, which we don't. We only use God if we could go ahead and bludgeon you with it by saying we got it first. And we use God in our argument here about that made in the image of God. Whereas you can easily argue, they are made in the image of God. God created male and female. He put an apple stem on one and not on the other. Made in the image of God. But the Democrats and politicians tried to go ahead and co-opt that. We're taking that term from you guys. So therefore we can shame you and say, well, you don't want to go ahead and disagree with God made, right?
Of course, he means it. As a politician, he wouldn't dream of saying anything he doesn't mean, right? He wouldn't dream of advocating for issues that he knows will be popular with his voting base.
That you are the beacon of light around the world, not a joke.
Not a joke.
Not a joke.
It's a lie.
Not a joke.
On a surface level, what Biden says can sound captivating. However, the key word here is surface level. First of all, he delivers these seemingly encouraging messages right after he's avoided mentioning specifics.
Wow. I like that, Mr. Englishman. So wait, okay, all these encouraging messages, but yet avoiding specifics? That's what you're doing? Yeah, get up there, get the crowd pumped up. Don't give them no details. Yeah, all right, everybody, we're going to go and take the hill. Let's do it. Yeah, come on. And they run up the hill and get slaughtered. Yeah, you don't even tell them how, all right, now look, I want y'all to go ahead and flank. You're going to go right. Now, I want y'all to here. And then we're going to wait for the signal. And no details. Just get everybody pumped up. Y'all want to go ahead and take the hill? Come on, let's do it. Everybody right now. Don't get people all pumped up without the details, but that's the goal. The goal is to make sure you don't start considering all of the details. So shallow, speaking very shallow, using broad terms, changing definitions, all a part of political rhetoric and manipulation.
Thus, the messages are so generic that they become hollow. Secondly, he ignores that love isn't about supporting anything and everything a child, or any person for that matter, says, does, and believes. Love is also about caring for the person you love, and caring doesn't mean greenlighting all decisions.
Ooh, that's deep right there. See, because maybe Biden didn't bust open his Bible when he was growing up in the black church. I grew up in the black church and stuff. That's right. Played the drums and the organ. I did the shouting. And I carried the big Bible and the big hand claps and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe he doesn't realize that spare the rod, spoil the child. Yeah, go ahead and let your kid do whatever they want because you love them. If you let your kid do whatever they want, you don't love them. See, kids have to learn boundaries. They have to know limits. They have to understand. That's why you're a parent. See, these idiots who embrace this crap, but they're very segmented when they embrace it. It only applies to this issue. All the other stuff. No, they can't get tattoos. They can't go out and drink. They can't smoke. They can't buy a gun. They can't do this. But this major issue, because it's really something nasty, stinking, perverted adults want, so they will make an exception for this issue. Now, isn't that crazy? So all of a sudden, your kid just overpowers you and muscles you. I'm just going to support whatever they want. You don't love your kid. If you don't teach your kid that there's consequences and there are choices sometimes you can make that you can't come back from, you don't love them. You'll be sitting around regretting it when they're about 20 and mad at you for allowing them to do this. What do you mean you let me do this at 10? I wanted you to live out your truth. And I felt that you were mature enough to know. I was 10. Oh, okay. Yeah, now looking back, that does seem a little crazy. I don't know what. It was a weird time. The Democrats were in power and they were pushing a lot of stuff. Unreal. So you don't love your kid if you let them do whatever you want. Loving your kid is also protecting your kid from danger, giving them the best opportunity for success, and helping them avoid all kind of consequences that you can't recover from. Granted, some stuff you got to learn on your own, but some stuff, it ain't going to happen on my watch if you were my kid, especially a major choice like that. This ain't like quitting basketball or something like that. I don't want to play basketball no more. All right, son, if you quit, you're going to regret quitting one day. Well, we'll see. This is something you can't come back from, but these dumb people, politicians like Joe, look at these dummies in the audience clapping.
Any type of behavior, that's carelessness. Thus, the issue isn't about being loved, heard, and understood, as Biden has an interest in oversimplifying it as.
Oversimplifying it. See, it's all simple. Hey, look, don't bog down with the details. Look, it's all about love. It's all about love. Okay, you don't want to get into it. It's very simple. This ain't difficult. See, I know, when you really, try to get difficult and stuff, you try to wonder, like, wait, how do the man just wake up one day and say, and you are talking about it. That's too much. That's too much. It's about love, man. It's about validation. It's about all that, the equality, okay? Freedom. Keep it simple. And be dumb. Keep it simple. So now let's continue because he wants to oversimplify it. Thank you for pointing that out, sir.
The issue is about whether or not it's a good idea for parents to send their children to pediatricians who are paid good money to pretend not to know what objective reality is.
Yeah, like Dr. Phil was saying, pediatricians who pretend to not know what reality is. Who got to you? If you're a pediatrician and you got, they are, boy, I tell you, I never thought I'd be selling out like this, but you're talking out loud. They're 4, and at 4, sometimes you get feelings on the inside, and boy, my mama wouldn't be proud of me right now if she heard. You're still doing it again. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, pediatricians. So they done sold out, and that's the real issue. But Biden don't want to talk about it. He wants to talk about love.
Santa Claus is real for them, but Santa Claus is not actually real.
Yeah, but Santa Claus does deliver their Christmas presents.
Oh, you hear this crazy woman? And somebody gave her a degree. She's a child psychologist. Yeah, but Santa Claus delivers the Christmas presents. So you sound like the kid. See, the difference between the kid and the adult is the adult gets a kick out of knowing that I'm Santa Claus. Yeah, there it is. The kid hasn't figured it out yet. Yeah. Once they hit about 9 or 10, they start realizing, oh, wait a minute. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Why haven't I ever caught Santa Claus? And that's interesting. Yeah, where these cookies go every time we set them out? So the adult knows who's really delivering the gifts, but here she is. But Santa Claus delivers the gifts. So are you the kid, lady? And listen to the stupidity.
Well, yeah, but he's not real, though.
To that child, they are.
Jeez, oh man. And this is what they're breeding in colleges. This is the degree. This is the stuff. This one, but to the child, they are. To a child, elephants can fly. Unicorns are real. All of that stuff. But to a child, they are. That's called an imagination. That's called childlike wonder. But his fool is saying it as if these are real. This is ridiculous. Anybody who brings their kid to this woman should withdraw them out of her services immediately. To a child they are. And trying to act like the pompous, calm, like to a child they are. Like you just don't understand, you man. Trying to mansplain all of this nonsense. Look at you. You're just a dirty, stinking white man. To a child they are. You unenlightened person, you. Yeah, don't you see my blue hair? That means I'm enlightened.
So we assign female to chickens when they lay eggs?
We assume they're female if they lay eggs.
Holy crap. We assume they're females if they lay eggs. What are you talking? Have you ever saw a male chicken squirt an egg out of his butt? She's crazy too. She's crazy too. There it is. So we got crazy parents. We got crazy psychologists. Yeah, that to a man. You know what? That to it. And I'm going, somebody go find me a male who have dropped a bun off. I want to see one man who woke up one day talking about, honey, I think I'm pregnant. What? Yeah, you got me pregnant. You knocked me up. Sometimes it goes back and forth. It comes like, yeah. But don't worry. Nah. Yeah, show me one man. One man. They can't give you one example, and they want you to think that they're sane, and they want you to trust their medical opinion. As this lady sitting there talking about chickens, hey, you know what? It depends. And you just assume that the female chickens lay eggs. No, it's a fact. Go find me the male chicken that laid one. They're crazy.
In truth. Okay.
Whose truth are we talking about?
Holy crap. I'm done. We might not make it through this tonight. I know this is an interesting topic. This one always intrigues me. Laughing at these stupid people. Whose truth are we talking about? Boy, they need a reality check, man. They need a sometimes, man, I say, you know what? Maybe times need to get rough. Because, see, in times of comfort, luxury, complacentness, all of that stuff, people get crazy. They got too much time on their hands. They sit around and paint their hair blue and come up with crazy nonsense like this. Maybe she needs to go back to the prairie. Maybe she needs to be out there milking the cow in the morning. Wringing the chicken's neck. Yeah, little blue hair on the prairie. That's maybe what she need to be doing. Maybe she wouldn't have time to be sitting there going, well, whose truth is it? Yeah. Go milk a bull. Just go out there and milk the bull. Like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get some milk out of this. Right to the chops. Too much time on your hands. Crazy people, man.
The same truth that says we're sitting in this room right now, you and I.
No, you're not listening.
Boy, I tell you, man. And she is just as pompous and arrogant. No, because I said it. No, you're not listening. Meaning this, you have to listen to me because I got blue hair. I went and got some raggedy degree. And I'm supported by rich, powerful people and politicians who are backing me up with this nonsense. Couple years ago, you would be considered a quack, a full-blown quack. But now we got crazy leaders that go, yeah, that woman's progressive. So no, you're not listening. Like, you poor imbecile. Look at you. This reminds me of the little girls when I taught, I first moved to Cincinnati, man. My first job was at a daycare. I had two little girls. I had a lizard. I bought a lizard. It was an iguana for the kids. Put it in the room. Named him Did He Bite You? So Did He Bite You would eat long stalk lettuce. Long stalk lettuce. So I had some long stalk lettuce in the refrigerator. And I took two of the kids with me to go get the lettuce out the refrigerator. So the little girls, they only 3. Yeah, we go, open the refrigerator. I poured a long stalk lettuce out. And the one little girl looked at it and was like, trees? And the other little girl with the most confident, arrogant response looked at her and was like, those aren't trees. They're watermelons. Yeah, there it is. She was looking at her like, I know exactly what these are, you dummy. Those aren't trees. They're watermelons. That's what this lady's like. Huh? Yeah, you're not listening. Yes, see, whose truth is it? And I'm going, you're the crazy one. But yet you think you got the moral high ground. You think you are above. You think you're enlightened. But here you are talking about they're watermelons. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Full-blown crazy. Let's finish hearing from these crazy people and evil ones too. Because see, Joe Biden, even though he done lost his mind, you know back in the day, Joe would have, what the heck is going on? These people think they can just switch up anytime. This is crazy. Hey, how am I going to sniff little girls if I don't know if they're girls or boys?
You're not listening, the pediatrician says, which echoes Biden's word choice about being heard. They're monopolizing terms and phrases that make it sound like morality belongs to them.
Yeah.
And with his religious reference, Biden lays it on thick.
Made in the image of God.
His logic goes, because a person's made in the image of God, people should support his or her actions. This line of reasoning can be applied to other areas of life in a logically consistent way.
Yeah. See, he didn't think about the implications of that statement. Made in the image of God, so they should be listened to. They should be allowed to do whatever they want. So if I go out and leave a couple bodies laying around, and I'm made in the image of God, Jeffrey Dahmer should have used that argument. Hey, look. I like eating people. It's greater to me. God made me like this. Made in the image of God. Leave me be. And let me live out my truth. This is ridiculous. You see the stupidity that comes out of these people, but guess what? It goes right over the top of the head of so many people. But when you start listening to this, you say, man, that is so shallow. You're trying to use religion as a shield. You're using all of these terms that you just want the audience to believe that these only apply to your position in this whole debate and argument. And if you oppose it, then you're the opposite of these wonderful labels and terms that we've assigned to our cause. There you go. Anything opposite of that, you're the evil. You're the villain. So let's continue.
Because in other areas, we don't support someone's decision for this reason.
Yeah.
If we think about the criminal justice system, for example, we should set boundaries. Who's to decide what's right and wrong?
Yeah, because a society that doesn't have boundaries is a lawless, chaotic society. Yeah. Hey, everybody can make that argument. I made an image of God as you're sitting there doing cocaine at 7. Hey, back up off me. I'm living out my truth, Pops. So here she is.
Who are we talking about?
Biden's
Whose truth are we talking
oversimplification
about?
tactic continues.
But for all the progress we made, we know the barriers, the bias, the bigotry still exist. Perhaps because of the progress we've made, people want to push us back and pull us back.
According to critical discourse analysis, the vast majority of what we consider to be good and bad is a result of discourses upon discourses that are results of societal developments, financially, structurally, and morally. When a certain discourse wins, say democracy and capitalism, it becomes the hegemony, the winning discourse. In a similar vein, there's a battle today about what constitutes progress. In that regard, repetition is a powerful rhetorical device for politicians.
There it is, repetition. So instead of discourse, instead of going back and forth and having a rational discussion, what you're going to do is assign a definition, an adjective to your cause. Progress, progress. I'm going to say it again. Progress. That means, just like they always label Trump supporters as being backheeled, backwards, you know who. Yes, man. Yeah. That's right, man. Me, Bob, the stereotypical white nationalist, man. That's right. I don't like this new progress, man. I want to take it back in the good old days where men had tallywhackers and girls didn't. Yeah, those good old days, man. I don't like this progress where you don't know an apple from an orange. You don't know, a waffle from a pancake. They ain't gonna, man. Shoot, man, let me tell you something. First things first. If the kid ain't white, the kid ain't right. That's the first thing. You gotta take these kids back to being white, man. They ain't gonna, I want so white when they go out playing the snow. You can't even see them. Can't even see them, man. Disappear in the snow. Snow white. That's how white I want these kids to be. They ain't gonna. That's right, man. Now Joe Biden is out here talking crazy, man. Talking about some progress. Now, let's go back to the good old days where men and women, was men and women and stuff like that, man. Good old days. They ain't gonna, when, all of our white supremacy reigned supreme, man. Man, now in the meanwhile, somebody go find my tooth. Anybody seen my tooth? It ain't as white as it used to be. It's kind of yellow. Anyway, God bless you, though. Only if you're white. So, yeah. Go back to the good old days, man. Yeah, when men and women were men and women. Yeah, because see, progress means that we don't know anymore. So you done progressed us out of reality, out of common sense, out of science. This is the progress. See, notice how vague it is. I just say it. Progress. Yeah, they're trying to roll back on progress. What does that mean? When you say that, what kind of progress are you referring to? You're trying to tell me all of a sudden, after thousands of years of us knowing what men and women are, for us to sit back and say, well, now I don't. That's progress. It sounds like regression. It sounds like we're going back to a stage that is even surpassing Neanderthals. They even know what men and women are. Animals know that. But these smart politicians, progress. You got to be kidding me. Good googly moo. But listen to it. He gives examples.
To make people associate progress with their side of the aisle.
Progress.
So the progress is to keep making progress.
The bias, the bigotry.
Prejudice is a synonym to bigotry. So what about Biden's own bias and prejudice? Is he the only person in the world without bias? All his arguments rest on biases about what he wants love and support to mean in the context he's referring to.
Yeah. So the next time a politician come up here and talking about some progress, bigotry, racism, and all of that stuff, you're like, wait a minute, who gives you the right to decide all of that stuff? So anybody who disagrees with you is a bigot, is a racist, is not progressive, all of that stuff. How about you just go ahead and get into the details of what these terms mean to you? How about you stick to the policy and stop using terms to block me from questioning your stupidness? How about that? So now, progress. Nobody wants to be viewed as somebody who stands in the way of progress, right? So keep saying it over and over again, and people's like, well, I want to be a part of progress. Well, I don't know what that means. I don't know where we're going with this, but progress sounds fun.
By implying that it's only his opponents who are biased, he makes it look like he's merely speaking the truth, when the truth is he's presupposing what the truth is.
Ooh, that's deep. Makes it seem like he's the only one speaking truth. And the biases come from all of his opponents, anybody who opposes him. Now, if you can't see this simple trick, this is the same garbage that I always say. How in the world can white liberal Democrats get away with calling other white conservatives white nationalists? I don't understand. Or saying they got white privilege. You get rich white liberal Democrats that will call rich white conservative Republicans white nationalists and say they have white privilege, and yet you got the same privilege as they do. Same privilege as they do. Yeah, you just went ahead and just labeled them, and everybody looks over there and not realize your own bias. Like, wait a minute, how are they suffering from white privilege and you're not? Nobody, no? Okay. So that's all they do is just straight up say progress and this and that. We're making progress. And you know what? Systemic race and white national. And they just go ahead and label that on their opponent. And people don't even catch the trick. Smoke and mirrors. That's all it is.
Based on his biases. But who's Biden to judge what's true and what's not?
Whose truth are we talking about?
And with pronoun we, he's making it sound like he's not alone, but that this entire community that he's trying to constitute via.
Now listen to this tactic. Y'all will catch this. When you start using terms like we, now in reality, it might be like 8 people. But when you start saying we, you're trying to draw your audience in to feel a part of a movement. Yeah. Even if you don't want to be included in that, all of a sudden, I guess I got to agree because he said we. I'm sitting in this audience and now everybody else is clapping. So now we. Who's we? Okay, let's continue. Let's hear it.
The speech speaks the only truth there is.
We made.
We made.
We know that we've made.
After monopolizing the term progress or trying to, it's time to monopolize the vague term hate or trying to.
Over 600 hateful laws introduced across the country. More than 70 of them becoming law just this last year, denying the existence of transgender people.
Can barely talk. Denying transgender people. Can barely talk. But yet, here this guy, once again, like the smart Englishman said, monopolizing the term hate. Yeah, we're the only ones that can label hate. And yet, these people want control over our speech. They want control of our speech. These are the same folks who want the ability to determine what is hate speech. Same thing. What's dis and misinformation? These are those people. As he's sitting back talking about policies of hate and laws, hateful laws. And I'm thinking, how about you give a breakdown of what these hateful laws are? Just like they come out and say, banning books and stuff like, what books? What's in the books? That's what I want to know. You want to keep it vague. You want to make it seem like these are all back-heeled people who want to take us back and don't want progress. Don't want progress. So please, instead of you trying to deflect and trying to block me with a whole bunch of, look, they're banning books. They don't want kids to learn. Is that what it is? Is it really that? Or is it that we don't want them to learn adult stuff? They shouldn't be in there talking about my little Johnny have these feelings on the inside and he went, but see, they don't want to get into details. Remember, just say, these people are hateful and these laws are hateful. And I'm thinking maybe these laws are loving. Maybe these laws are protective. Maybe these laws are rational. See, maybe they're that, but see, you done went ahead and you monopolized the word hate. Now, you already threw these hate on these all laws, so I guess we got to go ahead and accept your version of what these laws are.
Silencing teachers, banning books.
What kind of books? What are you silencing? Okay, now listen, kids. Up there, we don't have an American flag, but we do got a gay pride flag. So let's all say the Pledge of Allegiance to the... How about that? Are you talking about that? Silencing teachers. You know what? Sometimes you have feelings on the inside that you, or you know what? Me and my boyfriend, we, well, wait, Mr. Johnny, aren't you a boy too? Yes, I'm glad you asked. Everybody gather around. Let me tell you this story of Johnny and Jimmy. Nobody wants to hear that. You shouldn't even be talking about Johnny and Jane in the classroom. Your teacher, talk about English, science, stuff like that. You know, and they're up here talking all this garbage. Trying to use the classroom as a breeding ground for this perversity. And here he is saying, trying to silence teachers. But yet these books that he's trying to say, they want to silence and ban books. Whenever these people go in to read these books in front of the school board, they don't even want to hear it. It's too graphic. Can't hear it. Sorry, sir, we're going to have to stop you at this right here. That's inappropriate, but not for the kids. But this thinking thing right here is up here talking about hate and banning books and silence and teachers.
Threatening parents with prison for getting their children health care.
For giving their children health care. You see him oversimplify it? You see him for giving their children health care. You mean giving your children hormone blockers? You mean giving your children the right to cause themselves to have just long-term damage? Yeah. So, yeah, you would lock a parent up if they were giving their kids cocaine. If they were giving their kids heroin, you would lock them up. You take the kid from them, giving them alcohol, some Black Velvet at 10, you would lock them up. But all of a sudden now that you want your kids to go through this process, now all of a sudden, locking parents out for giving their kids health care. Oversimplify. It's just health care, y'all. It's health care. See, and when you see this stuff and recognize what they're doing, that's when you say, hey, let's get specific. What type of health care are we talking about? It's just like when they say women's health reproduction. So what does that look like? Are you talking about a pap smear? Are you talking about a sonogram? Are you talking about that? Or are we talking about abortion? But you couldn't say that because now all of a sudden you got to explain in detail. So you want to keep it vague. All right, there you go.
Families across the country now face excruciating decisions to move to a different state to protect their child from dangerous anti-LGBTQ laws.
What Biden oversimplifies as hateful and dangerous for obvious self-serving reasons is what many people would call care and concern. This goes to show that two people can use the same word and mean two completely different things. Thus, it's the definitions of words that matter. So what about Biden's definitions? Are they convincing?
For getting their children health care.
This is vague language, similar to euphemizing language for what this particular kind of healthcare entails.
Yeah.
A kiddo who is just starting puberty, puberty blockers are wonderful because we can put that pause on puberty, just like if you were listening to music.
One of the drugs used.
Yeah, so that's healthcare, guys. You see? See, Biden don't want to get into that. You know why? Because rational, common sense people go, whoa. See, when you had said, somebody said, who is the guy in the video? Dang on it. I thought I put his name. Hold on, wait a minute. I know I put his name in the, let me save my spot. Let me save my spot. I'm going to be mad at myself if I didn't. Because I know I put his name in here. No, maybe I didn't. All right, remind me before we get out of here. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get his name. Man, what is his channel? Darn it. Hold on. Wait. See, now y'all got me. Hold on. I'm about to find it. I gotta go find it now. Hold on. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. There we go. Here. Y'all got me. See, I'm mad at myself, though, because I did put it in there, and I don't know. I must have let it slide out. Okay, here it is. His channel is Martin, like in Martin. I'm the man. Martin Decoder, Decoder, Martin Decoder. Wow, he got some heavy views, man. Woo! And he psychoanalyzes all of these leftists. He breaks it down, man. I'm telling you, he's great to listen to. I was listening to him all day while I was on the truck working. All right, anyway, let's get back to what we talk about. Martin Decoder. Yeah, I'm mad that I didn't put that in there. I thought I did, but I must have deleted it at the last second. So now, let's get back to this. Here we go.
Based on his biases. But who's Biden to judge what's true and what's not?
What truth are we talking about?
And with the pronoun we, he's making it sound like he's not alone, but that this entire community that he's trying to constitute via the speech speaks the only truth there is.
Yeah, because we. There you go. I'm not alone. Now, this is a clever trick that they try to do to make it seem like this is a popular movement. Wait. It's inclusive. Wait. It excludes everybody else. Wait. If you're not a part of the we, then you're they. So here we go.
We made. We made.
After monopolizing the term progress or trying to, it's time to monopolize the vague term hate or trying to.
Over 600 hateful laws introduced across the country.
We already passed that.
Parents with prison for getting their children.
And we passed that.
Reasons is what many people would call care and concern. This goes to show that two people can use the same word and mean two completely different things. Thus, it's the definitions of words that matter.
Yeah.
So what about Biden's definitions? Are they convincing?
For getting the children health care.
This is vague language, similar to euphemizing language for what this particular kind of healthcare entails.
A kiddo who is just starting puberty blockers are wonderful because we can put that pause on puberty.
Pause on puberty. But this is healthcare. That's healthcare, guys. Perfectly healthy child. Now, you think Biden wants to get into the details of that? You think any politician who's pushing a crazy agenda like this wants to get into the details of what that looks like? So instead of me trying to tell you, what we're going to do is give them puberty blockers. It's going to stunt their growth and make them grow boobs. If they're a boy and if they're a girl, they're going to go and get a Adam's apple and start talking like a grown man and this and that. And it could stunt their developmental state. Instead of getting into that, no, why do that? I'm just going to call it healthcare. Gender affirming care. Life-saving gender affirming care. And if you ask me the details, you're a bigot. You don't want these kids to be free. You see the games that they play? But here's the dummy with the blue hair, and she's saying it like she's proud of this. It's wonderful. We get to stunt their growth. We have them confused. All of this mess. She needs to lose her license.
Just like if you were listening to music.
One of the drugs used is Lupron, right? Which
Look at that.
Silencing teachers, banning books.
Here, Biden makes sure to monopolize the terms silenced and banned. These are terms that his opponents often use as talking points. So it's about using them before they're used against him and his allies. He needs the terms to keep the victim narrative on his side, to ensure the right effect of his many appeals to people's emotion and pity.
That's right. So it's about silencing victims. It's about banning books. It's about... That means if you are going, well, I'm not trying to ban a book. I just don't want my kids reading pornography in school. Yeah, I'm not trying to silence a victim. I just don't want, my son getting a procedure at 7. And I'm not trying to silence nobody. I just don't want a little boy getting in there and running my girl over as they're playing soccer. And I'm not trying to say, I don't want to keep people from playing sports, because see, they generalize that too. Sports, see, they don't want to talk about the impact of men or males getting in female sports and the dangers and all of that stuff, the violation of their privacy. They want to just focus on sports. You know what? You're trying to deny these people the ability to play sports. Sports contribute to this and that. And I'm going, we're not talking about sports. We're not talking about sports. They have the right to play sports in their own gender. There you go. But y'all don't want to get into the details. Y'all want to make it appear we're just talking about sports. That's all. See the game that they play? You got to psychoanalyze them.
Child.
And what is protection? Parents who assess their child's gender based on their attachment to headbands.
She had this one headband she was completely attached to that no one's going to misgender me now.
Or maybe consulting certain pediatricians.
Whose truth are we talking about?
And the most interesting point, Biden's unwillingness to even begin to define what he's arguing for. According to the worldview he represents, what does gender even mean? How does he even begin to define a man or a woman without upsetting the crowd whose votes he wants?
That's right, because he can't do that. That's why he got to go ahead and talk all past that. He don't want to get into the details. That's why when you start asking these crazy people, what is a man? But you know what? That's an interesting question. You know what? I can't define what that is. You know what? Because they know they will piss off a whole bunch of people. Did y'all see Winsome Shears up there and the transgender on the bus going wah? Did y'all see that? Yeah, she's up here conducting a meeting and she happens to say, absolutely, sir. And this dude, grown man, can't control his emotions. You could tell this was so innocent of her. She wasn't even looking at the dude, wasn't even paying attention. He asked the question. She's like, that's true, sir. And he got up and walked out. Man, I know she wanted to be like, get your tail up. And here she goes. I'm sitting there watching this, man, and I'm going, and you're in Congress? You're that shallow? You're that fragile? You're broken over this? They made you feel like the world revolves around you? This is unreal. But his truth, he was violated. You got to go ahead and be sensitive to these people. Man, I'd have been like, so? Yeah. Hey, everybody here in the Congress, y'all want me to apologize? Y'all want me? Guess you want me to take back some of those hurtful words I said? Okay, I'm sorry. You're just a little worm that can't. Yeah, I'd be like Major Payne on that dude.
Next, it's time for another synecdoche to get the audience riled up, distracting from the absence of definitions. Yeah. It's all about how people feel.
I received a letter from one mom who wrote me, quote, I despair for families like mine who already become refugees inside our nation. Refugees inside our nation? That's how she feels, like a refugee inside our nation.
People feel things all the time. It doesn't necessarily make what they feel true or right. It's not an argument for or against anything. If this organization, Human Rights Campaign, got their way, even more people would feel like refugees. But that's how
There you go. You see that? Feel. There you go. It makes them feel like this and that. Yeah, all these illegal immigrants, they feel like American citizens, so therefore they are. There you go. So it's all about feelings. See, this is how the left argues. This is how they present crazy, radical ideas that doesn't make sense to people, but they use these terms, these tricks, this manipulation to either quiet you and shut you up from opposing it or to demonize the opposition. Anybody who has common sense or real questions, these people come in and say, you know what, it's all about you silencing people and lack of progress and white nationalism and silencing these kids and not allowing them to have health care and denying them their freedoms and making them unexist. All of this stupidity just brings you into emotions. And it's crazy to see how fragile and how weak many people in our society is to succumb to this, especially on something so fundamentally black and white like men and women. It's amazing that this works. That's why I know this whole concept is accompanied by devils, by demons, demonic influence. This is beyond your normal perversity. When apparently smart people are embracing this. This is crazy. I'm going, this right here is an uncommon spirit. And this ain't the old school stuff where I'm a cross-dresser. This is us on a whole nother level.
Pathos appeals work. They're designed to leave out specifics and reflections. It's all about getting people riled up by using and repeating certain terms. And speaking of riling up, next, Biden intensifies the rhetoric against the common enemy. Biden's word choice underlines the hegemony battle, the right to define what progress means.
And the United States Congress, extreme MAGA Republicans trying to undo virtually every bit of progress we've made.
We made. Yeah, I'm sure, Biden, you were on the front line of transgender rights. You hear that garbage? All the ultra MAGA Republicans are on the front line of trying to undo all the progress we made. Who's we? It's so funny, man, when you see this stuff, and yet people are falling for it. People in that audience. So now the ultra MAGA Republicans who are trying to protect kids from getting life-changing surgery and drugs are trying to undo the progress we made. But I won't tell you what the progress is, though. I won't tell you what the progress is. Somebody said, what channel was Winsome on? I'm not sure, but you can look it up. If you Google Winsome Shears, well, she didn't even apologize, really. She did address the person. And I'm like, you big grown man, get up there with a deep voice. I have a question. And she probably didn't even look up, probably heard the voice. Yes, sir. What? Sir? Do I sound like a sir to you? Yeah, you do.
Ban pride flags from flying on public lands. Who the hell? Oh.
And look at the dummies. So ignorant. Look at all the males in there, all them boys. I wonder if any of them got any testosterone in there. If you're a man and you're clapping like this, I'm concerned. Men clap like this. I want to hear some bass. None of this. Your elbows should be tight. No tight elbows. Keep them wide. There you go. Dang on it. If you're a man and you sitting up in there and looking at your nails like this, I'm concerned. Men look at them like this. Okay? Up in there with those skinny suits on, talking about, woo!
Not very presidential.
Next, he invokes the concept of democracy, a classic, but also quite extreme move.
A classic, but extreme move. Now, this one applies to everything. Notice the key word that the Democrats use constantly. Democracy, 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 democracy. Democracy. Interesting.
These are just the cruel attacks on the LGBT community. They're attacks on the foundations of our democracy.
How?
You know, they take...
How? Attacks on the foundation of our democracy. Nobody's following these people around. Y'all have created these self-absorbed narcissists to think that everybody got a problem with them. Yeah, y'all have created this image in their mind that they're constantly being a victim and being abused. Somebody accidentally misgender them and they're having a fit, holding up lines, taking out their cell phones, trying to embarrass you. It's become in vogue for them to go ahead and hope that somebody misgenders them so they can get a video going out that I'm here at the restaurant. This waiter right here called me a ma'am, and I'm a sir, or vice versa. You guys did this. That's what happened. So now here he is up here talking about something stupid.
Take aim at our fundamental values and principles.
Democracy.
Like the right to free expression, the right to make...
Free expression, what are you talking about? I mean, see, once again, lumping it all together, oversimplifying it, right to free, expression. Democracy is used for everything. All right, democracy, Trump's trying to destroy our democracy. It's the fundamental principle of our democracy. All that. The same people who destroys democracy, the same people who tries to jail their political opponents, get caught spying on them, all of this, but yet throw democracy out there because, see, when you use democracy, that's what we've been trained and conditioned to think it represents freedom. There you go. Democracy. It's what America was built on, the fundamental principle of democracy. So now if I keep using that and keep saying democracy, we own it. We're protecting it. It belongs to us. Anybody who opposes us is trying to take away democracy. And they use that for every argument. Democracy. And now he's using it for kids. Yeah. And then he's just going all over the place now. It's all, the flags, you can't express yourself. Nobody's running around chasing these people saying, hey, you shut up talking about gay rights. You shut up and talking about... Nobody cares. The only time it gets on folks' nerves is when they try to do what they're doing right now. Going after kids and shoving it down the throats of folks who don't want it. Trying to make everybody embrace it and enjoy it and celebrate it. How about you just do you? Do your thing. I'll do my thing. As long as you don't want to do your thing with my thing, we're okay. But that's not good enough for them. See? Yeah, they want you to go ahead and bake cakes for them, even if it violates your conscience. Stuff like that. And if you don't, you know what? I'm taking you to court.
Make our own healthcare decisions. The right to raise our
own... The right to make your own healthcare decisions. So the kid has the right to make their own decisions. Hey, Mom, I think I need to get my tonsils removed. No, the doctor said they're fine. You know what? I have a right to make my own healthcare decisions. Dang on it. Now, yeah, I want to go ahead and get my tonsils removed. Stuff like that. I want breast implants. Yeah, you're 12. Yeah, I know. I want healthcare decisions. I got the right. This is the stupid... I don't even know how people vote for Democrats. I really don't. Not only is he up here manipulating and we're psychoanalyzing this raggedy speech and exposing all of the stuff he's put in it to manipulate the audience, but they're evil. That's the other point. They're evil. I mean, this using stuff like that, and I'm saying, what are you talking about? The right to make healthcare decisions, even if it hurts them. I mean, if the kid needs a kidney, ain't nobody gonna stop that. But if the kid is a healthy kid, physically healthy, and here you come because you are a twisted parent, maybe confused or want to project that on the kid, and you come talking about that, I think my kid wants to be this and that. Well, did the kid say that, or did you keep re-emphasizing it? You and your liberal teachers that the school you send them to all get together and what do you think? I think so.
Children,
Again, he uses nice-sounding terms and phrases.
like the right to free expression,
See?
the right to make our own healthcare decisions, the right to raise our own children.
With these terms and
The
phrases,
right to raise your own children. The right to free healthcare expression. Right to... See the manipulation? There it is. It's that simple. It's that simple. Now, that man right now, these dummies in that audience totally have forgotten the real topic is, do you want young adults like the 4-year-old that the mother, the crazy mother, thinks just because the kid wore a band on his head and likes to play in little girl stuff? Yeah. I mean, when I was like 6, I remember putting on my mom's heels and walking around in them just to see, out of curiosity, like, how does he feel when you walk in them? That would be like my mom seeing it. Oh my God, Kevin's transgender. Look at that. He put my heels on one time. I had a Wonder Woman doll and I had a Superman doll. All of a sudden I picked a Wonder Woman doll up. Oh, he's transgender. This is how crazy things have gotten right now. I mean, kids go through that part where, that point in their life where they just, they gravitate towards stuff that might be male or female, but they work that stuff out as they get older. The boys start to gravitate towards certain toys and the girls do too. But here we go.
phrases, he ignores what they entail. This isn't regular healthcare decisions.
Nope.
This isn't just about free expression or the right to raise children.
No.
It's about at what age someone should make life-altering decisions.
And that is lost in all the all of the fluff, all of the terminology, all of the manipulation, all of the motions and stuff. It's lost in that. Now it's all about healthcare and children's rights and democracy. All of that is lost. It's overshadowed. All the details, the real main point, the real topic is overshadowed by all of that garbage they put on it. That's like, you go, all right, I'm going to this fancy restaurant. I heard they make a great steak. Yes, but before we give you the steak, we want you to try the lettuce, and we have a very nice... and they start getting you with all of this extra stuff that they pile up all of that. And you're sitting back going, all right, now, wait a minute. And once you get through it all, you realize you got a teeny little piece of steak that you pay like $100 for. But they want you to get fat up off of all the lettuce, all of the carbs, all of that stuff. Yeah, so they don't have to get taken to the well with the meat. So now this guy then gave a whole bunch of people lettuce, then gave them a whole bunch of carbs. And you're going, wait a minute, let's get back to the meat. I want the main ingredient. I'm a carnivore. Let's save that stuff for last. I want a big, fat, healthy steak. Let's focus on the steak, but not Joe. It's about healthcare rights and kids and stuff and the truth.
He obviously knows that, but he can't allow himself to reflect on anything that goes against his oversimplification tactic.
That's right. That's why he can't talk about the details. One, Joe don't know the details. You could already tell this guy does not know one detail about anything. When he gets out there, talks to you, pick a topic. He gets out there, he talks about a lot of stuff. You think Joe knows about climate change? Climate change! And scientists say climate change! Yeah, ask Joe a couple questions. All right, what is the degrees in the last 20 years? How much of the carbon in the air? I don't know stuff. He asking me things. They wrote it down, told me to come out and say it. Well, so he don't know about nothing. But yet here he is trying to break this stuff down. And if anybody asks, what's the long-term effects? What's the studies with these kids? How does it impact their growth? I mean, what? Don't ask stuff. Racism and stuff. Living out the truth.
I'm never going to stand by and watch families terrorized, doctors and nurses criminalized, or any child targeted for who they are.
See the heavy language? Any child targeted for who they are. Not protected, targeted. For who they are, as if the kid knows who they are. There you go. Yeah. So I'm a natural born killer. Yeah, don't target that kid. The kid said he's a killer. Leave him be. Let him live out his truth. Targeted. See the heavy language? Now all of a sudden, anybody who tries to protect the kid and say, man, this is a kid, leave this kid be. This kid don't know what they want to be. Oh, you're targeting them. Trying to make them unexist. These are nasty people. You see? So it's not just that they're using manipulation and stuff. They're evil. And when you come out and you call trying to save a kid from making a permanent decision, targeting the kid, you're evil. And that's why I have no pity on this nasty, stinking old corpse and then walking around not knowing stuff. I don't care. That's why I let him have it every time. We're almost done.
It's who they are.
It's who they are.
Who they are, or who they're made to believe they are.
Thank you.
Maybe as a result of the books that are being promoted in schools and not banned, as Biden.
Oh, thank you, smart Englishman. Who they are versus who they are made to believe who they are. See, stuff like, all right now, wouldn't you prefer to read this book with the girl on it, Timmy? I didn't think about it, but now that you're going, wouldn't you like to read this one? And you're my mom or dad, who got your own perverted, twisted ideology, and you're sitting there in front of me trying to, push me towards this, shaking your head. Oh, okay. Wouldn't you prefer to dress up in pink? Yes. And then all of a sudden, look at that. Yeah, he's living out his truth. And look at that. See, the parents need to be held accountable too.
Claimed.
Banning books.
Maybe as a result of a pediatrician's carefully phrased adult questions.
And how I put it in words for kids so that they can understand it is, tell me your story. Where have you been in terms of your gender and your gender identity?
And this is a pediatrician, y'all. I thought she was just a child psychologist. She's a pediatrician. Y'all hear these heavy terms that she's using to influence the kids? See? So maybe it is the books that need to be banned, Biden. Maybe it is a twisted parents. But you're just talking about they know who they are. And yet, listen to her. This is a term that all kids should know.
Where are you right now?
Jill and I, Kamala,
Y'all hear
and
that?
our entire...
Yeah. This woman right here is a pediatrician.
And your gender identity.
And your gender identity. There you go. Here I am swinging my legs because I'm 5 in the chair. All right, you're back here again. Huh, Bobby? Uh-huh. Yeah. So where are you at with your gender identity? What's that? That's what a kid should be saying. What's that? What is she talking about? This is unreal, man. This woman shouldn't be practicing anything. She's pushing the kids towards this. It's like the crazy dude they got that's working for the White House. What's the so-called Admiral Levine? Whole agenda is to push LGBTQ rights and transgender kids. Whole agenda. It's like he never comes out and talks about anything else but that. Oh, I'm sorry. And black people with climate change that only impacts them.
Right now.
Jill and I, Kamala and Doug, and our entire administration will always stand with you against hate. Together we'll make even more progress.
Hate and progress. I'm starting to notice a pattern for Biden's oversimplification tactic. This way, hate is any parent who denies what their child feels. So does he really want families to make their own healthcare decisions? Not if it goes against anyone's feelings, apparently.
There you go. See, this is how you double trap them. Anybody who did not hate, so now all of a sudden, if the parent says, well, I love my kid and I'm not going to let my kid manipulate themselves like this and pervert their body and all that stuff. I'm not going to do that. You know what? You must hate your kid. See, in one instant, he's trying to say that parents have a right to decide for their kids. You see the double trap that they put themselves in? And all you got to do is sit back and listen to it. So now on one end, all these ultra MAGA folk trying to stop parents from being able to decide for their own kids and stuff. And then on the flip side, when the parents say, well, yeah, I am deciding for my kid. I'm deciding my kid's not going to get some dang on hormone therapy and, get the breast cut off or whatever. Well, you know what? That's hate. Because we define what hate is.
That's why we must pass the Equality Act.
There it is.
Pass it now.
Equality Act, which is a breakdown for let kids do what they think they want to do and let the parents do what they think the kid is suffering from. Yeah, there you go. That's equality. That's equality. See, we'll package it up with that fancy term, equality. Yeah, maybe even tying some racism with it, equality. When you start thinking about equality, the first thing you think about is, discrimination, racism, civil rights, all of that stuff. So let's lump that in. Equality Act. Now, where would that get you? See, because if you fall for that, And you say, well, heck, equality sounds good. Yeah, let's support that. And then all of a sudden you find hidden in that act is you can't stop your kid from going through this, and we'll take your kid from you, or your kid shows up at church and your church happened to not agree with brother so-and-so. Why you got your little son dressed up, and why you giving him well, you know what? The Equality Act, you know what? You can't be preaching against this. Yeah, you can't be doing. All of a sudden now, it might infringe upon your personal moral convictions and beliefs because you fell for it, thinking that you were supporting equality, but you were supporting immorality. That's what you were supporting.
That's what we must do this.
By monopolizing the term equality, he implies that anything other than accepting this act means that you're supporting inequality.
Right.
So much for being loving, unbiased, and for free expression.
Because history has taught us again and again.
What?
Anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, homophobia, transphobia, they're all connected. Hate toward one group left unanswered opens the door for more hate toward more groups more often, readily.
Not only is he mixing different categories together, he's also making it sound like it's the same group that's responsible for these isms and phobias. He's appealing to history without a hint of grounds for his claims. Looking at what went before this passage, what Biden calls phobias to conveniently avoid actual argumentation.
There you go. Love it. Lump them all in together. You know, might as well sprinkle in some racism, xenophobia, homophobia, Islamophobia, you know, anti-Semitic and this and that. And remember, just in case you're wondering who is embracing every single one of these, it's the white nationalists, it's the conservatives. That's what it is. It's people who don't vote for me, people who have enough common sense to realize that kids shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stack it on because, see, if you disagree with this, you probably disagree with all those other things, too. You're probably a white nationalist. You need to check your moral compass. There you go. See, because the bottom line is most likely, what the heck is that? Why is my crib keep shaking? I hear a train, but trains don't do that around here. No. I rebuke you. Okay, now. Anyway, let me get back to this. We're done. We got about 30 seconds left. The bottom line, you hear this garbage that this dude is trying to do? You're right there. He's creating a strong man where, you know what, all of these people, whenever we want to go in and debate this in Congress, whenever somebody questions this, we're just going to go ahead and say, you know what? You're the type of person who stands in the way of progress, and you're probably the type of person who support bigotry, Islamophobia, all of these phobias, all these isms. You're that type of person. All because you don't want kids to go ahead and get gender-affirming care. All right, let's wrap it up.
Is what many or most people would call concern for their children.
That's what we would think
in general.
The antidote to hate is love. The answer to twisted, dehumanizing knowledge is
can't even say it. No. You hear this fool? If you're gonna get up there and spew propaganda, at least be able to speak.
In general.
The antidote to hate is love. The answer to twisted, dehumanizing knowledge is.
Listen to that fool. Yeah, and here he is up there. People just keep clapping. So now the antidote to hate is love. So, hey, any parents out there? If you don't let your kid go through this process, you don't love them. You don't love them. See, you know, you have to show them you love them by validating it and affirming them. And then when they get older, they can hate you. There you go. When they realize, what the heck did you let me do to myself at 12? I hate you, Mom, but I did it out of love. No, you did it out of stupidity and manipulation from people like this.
Solidarity.
In this context, words like love and solidarity are empty because the words could just as easily be used against him.
Yep.
That his kind of love is carelessness and that he's not showing solidarity with people who disagree with him.
Thank you. Love it. That's right. That kind of love and hate can be used against solidarity as he excludes any parent that might have a concern about their kid getting something like that done to them. Any parent that might not want their kids to be reading these books inside of the schools, talking about stuff they shouldn't be reading. Yeah, all of this. But nobody questions them. See, yeah, because they talk in echo chambers. They talk in, warm, welcoming audiences that sit there and go, oh, oh, oh. A lot of guys in there with the tight elbows when they clap. All of that. Yeah. They don't go into real, mostly hardworking Americans, even non-conservatives. When it comes down to that topic, but yet he wants to talk about, and the progress. Go into the black neighborhoods and start asking them about that type of progress with their kids. Yeah, we're here to teach your kids about transgender. They go, hey man, hold up. Don't be coming up in here. Now you can talk to us about some racism. But we don't want to hear nothing about the kids doing whatever to their bodies. You understand that? Now go on, get. Now I wonder if he'll call them hateful and this and that. So it always comes back to bite these people when they use these type of dirty political tactics to demonize the opposition. Because when the opposition no longer fits the stereotypical opposition that they done created in the minds of people, then they don't know what to do with it. Just like the black people up in Chicago and in New York and all of that. Now all of a sudden they're going, man, these illegal immigrants are causing trouble. They appear they're violent, they're this and that, they're doing this, they don't belong here. Now you're sitting there going, no, I just labeled everybody who disagreed with illegal immigration as hateful, standing in the way of progress, fighting against diversity, fighting against equality. And I tried to go ahead and link black people and other minorities into this and say, we all need to be fighting for this. Now all those people turned and said, we don't want this mess. Now what do you do with them? See, that's when it comes back to bite you. So anyway, those are some tactics that these people use. Now, I want y'all to check out that man's channel. I mean, I'm telling you, he breaks down, he does one on Will Smith and Jada. I mean, he breaks down all kind of political figures and psychoanalyze them and exposes what they're really doing, all the little tactics that they use. He even gets into like their emotions and stuff, body language, speech, dialect, all kind of stuff. It was great. Somebody said, best chat on the YouTubes. Thank you so much. I didn't know how this was going to work out. I never do. I never know how any of my live streams are going to work out. I say, hey, this one's interesting to me. I'm going to share it with the people and have fun. And I'm sure all of you, we all familiar with this topic, but it's always good to be able to see it from a different perspective. Not only the topic itself, but the tactics that these evil people use to push the agenda. And somebody just asked me, what channel? His channel, I gave it to y'all earlier. Somebody might have to put it in the chat. Hold on for a second. Let's see here. We get that. What was it again? It was, man, now my computer locking up. What the crap is going on here? Anybody remember what his name was? Man, my short-term memory here. Joe Biden syndrome, suffering from it. I ain't gonna even speak that. Okay, wait, here we go. Now, here we go. His channel is called Martin Decoder. Martin Decoder. All right, so it's Martin and then Decoder. And he has a list of all kind of, he does one of Rachel Ziegler. Oh man, he lets Prince Harry and Megan, whatever her name is, have it. So he does a lot of them. And I got caught up, man. I watched a whole, I was sitting there like, that's deep. Man, he really exposed. Ooh, yeah, him. That's great. I like that right there. So check it out. It is worth the listen. There's a couple other ones he did that I definitely want to touch on at some point, but I just want to cover that tonight. And tomorrow, we're going to be talking about some of the shenanigans that went on with today's hearing with Fat Fanny. Yeah, man, there was a little interesting exchange that took place. I'll touch on that tomorrow. And then Friday, y'all do know that the judge is going to make his decision. And that's going to be interesting. Somebody said, Gizmo, please. Where is Gizmo? You know what? Oh, man. Oh, I thought I locked him in the room, y'all. Gizmo's in here. I thought I locked him in the room because, see, I told y'all he got a thing for his ball. He got a thing for this ball. He can't live without it. And I think he left one of the balls in the room, and he kept whining about it. So I was about to lock him in the room. But here he is, y'all. Here he is. Oh. Yeah, y'all only gonna be able to see him a couple more times before I have to give him a haircut. I don't show him when his hair grows back like that. There it is. Y'all see it? Yeah, man. You give him the yawn. Did you give him the yawn, Gizmo? Yes, you did. You gave him the yawn. You're a good dog. You're a good dog. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, boy, he never fails to deliver. So God bless y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Hit that like button, share the videos. If you want to donate to the channel, links are below. Not the one link. All right, it's my regular Cash App and my regular PayPal. I got to reset the monthly fundraising link. Follow me on Twitter and also subscribe to my alternative channel so we can hit 1,000. Please do so. And I think that might be it, y'all. With that being said, let's get out of here, man. I got to get up and go to work. 6 in the morning. Put my man arms to work. All city. I know you see the way we tear up the place, yeah. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.